Hey everyone, it's Caleb Reese with TennoArmory.com, bringing you yet another warframe guide, and today we're going to be taking a look at Saryn. We've taken some time to look at Saryn and see if we can come up with a different way of playing her. I know everyone likes playing here with the max range and using spores, or using the strength build and going after Miasma, or even the melee toxic slash build. They're very transparent, they're very obvious builds. But today we're going to come and show you a different way to play Saryn, and we're going to call it the support Saryn. So what do we mean by this? Well, we looked at Saryn and we saw a few things. We saw the fact that she can buff allies with the Spore, right? So if you have the Syndicate mod Venom Dose, you can buff allies, and this does increase, like the amount of toxin damage buff that she provides does increase with power strength mods, and the duration does get affected by power duration mods. So Venom Dose is going to do 220% extra damage in toxin, and this is not just for weapons or just for abilities, it's for both. So when you cast this on someone, they're going to have 220% extra damage in toxin to from any source, anything they do that's damage, it's going to get increased, which is phenomenal. And then on top of that, the Spore already does the viral proc, which reduces enemies' health by 50%. So that's ridiculous, right? 50% less enemy health, and then 220% extra damage is huge already, right? And then we thought, okay, well, how can we increase our survivability as well? Get a little self-healing in there. We're gonna get hit inevitably with a slash proc, with the a toxin proc. Is there a way we can get rid of those things? Well, yes, there is. We use Regenerative molt. We can take away any status effect. We can also do a little bit of self-healing, and I was going to get into something else, but let's take a look at why we modded the things the way we did. Okay, so since we're modding for Spore, we obviously want a good, a high power range, right? We want the spores to be able to, when popped, spread. So we want a good range there. So what are we going to use for range? Stretch and Cunning Drift. We don't use Overextended because it gives you negative power strength, and we need the power strength to heal us with Regenerative molt and Venom Dose, right? So that's why we didn't take that. Now, for power strength, we use Blind Rage and Intensify. Why didn't we use Transient Fortitude? Well, Transient Fortitude is only 50% power strength, and it reduces our duration. Now, we don't want our duration to get affected because it affects Venom Dose and Regenerative molt. And in one mod, we get double the power strength almost, so I felt that this is a better option. Plus, the power efficiency doesn't really negatively impact us too much because you gotta remember, we're not spamming spores and we're not spamming molt. Molt is only used if our shields get dropped really, really fast and we gotta heal up a little bit, or if we have some kind of status that we want to take off, right? So I didn't feel like having primed flow or fleet expertise, any of that kind of stuff. I didn't feel like it was necessary, and you'll see. I want to show you in testing that this is true, so that it's not just me talking about it. You'll be able to see it in action. And then lastly, the duration, right? The duration, like I said, gets affected by both of these, and for the duration model, we only need prime continuity. You can also add Constitution if you don't want Streamline, but we recommend just at least have a prime continuity. I think it's enough, because with this power duration, you already have your Venom Dose lasting up to a minute, and Regenerative molt is already healing you extremely fast. You'll see in the game right here. So Physique, the reason why we chose Physique is because, one, the Vazarin comes stock, right? The polarity comes stock on it, and because we're going to be using Redirection instead of Vitality, so we figured the extra health would be good, and we're not using Rejuvenate because we can already heal ourselves, right? So let's take a look at how we're looking to pop spores. We're going to be using Hiku Prime to pop the spores. Now you can use a different AoE weapon. For example, you can use a Sonic Core, the Static Core. They're really good. I've seen some people even say they like using the Ignis. So I mean, it's really up to you. I've seen everything, right? So pick an AoE weapon you like to use, and test it out and see what do you feel comfortable with, what do you like. And a lot of people like just the way it looks, right? The fashion frame of it. So make sure it looks good and it feels good, and then you'll be fine. So let's go take our idea and let's go into a game. I want to go into a Draco real quick. Yeah, I know, right, Draco? It's just the mission type that I know people will be doing. So let's go jump into a Draco. I'm gonna do a 4 cap. I'm not gonna do the RJ spam in the middle. So we're just gonna go 4 cap it, and we're just gonna show you what it looks like, what the buff looks like, what the duration is, all that kind of stuff. So right off the bat, I should have jumped off and took the short path to the top, but whatever. I didn't think he would do it. I was gonna cast my ability on him while we were in here, so you guys can see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cast Venom Dose on this Volt here, and you'll be able to see it here. So I just casted it on him. If you look on his weapon, it's got that poison stuff coming off of it. That means he has the buff on him. If you look over by the name on the top right of the screen, you'll see a counter. That's the buff, right? So it's a minute and some change. It's pretty good, right? So he's enjoying a 220% toxin buff to all of his damage. Really, really good. So that's step 1, right? We want to buff our allies. And then step 2 would be to cast Spore and then use your Hiku Prime to blow all the spores up, right? So that our allies have an easier time of killing enemies. Now, in the event that we catch some slash procs or some toxin procs, whatever, or just take some damage, we're gonna need a way to heal ourselves, right? So we decided to put on Regenerative Molt, like we showed you earlier. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some self damage so I can show you what that looks like. Show you how much it heals for. Let me throw a couple more of these guys, get myself down. Oops, didn't mean to throw that last one. Alright. Actually, let me get over here and I'll show you over here. Just so I can cap this. Oh, let's get some self damage going on. Okay, 190. So if we cast it, it heals for 100 at a time. So you should see that number jump to 290. I'm going to hit it right now. Oh, straight to 300, then 397. Okay, so almost 100. So it heals very quickly, as you saw. And since we have the shields, and we're not looking to spam it, I felt that redirection was the right choice. And it just feels right too. Like if you go ahead and slap on the Vitality mod, and then see how much more you use your Molt, and see how fast you run out of energy. So we've been running this now for, I don't even know, maybe a minute or two, probably 2 minutes, and I'm still good on energy. I'm not spamming anything, I'm just casting Molt once and then spreading it. It's got a good enough range so it can catch a lot of enemies. You'll see the viral procs ticking along the map. It just feels right, it feels good. You have survivability, you're going to be able to help your team out a lot, you're going to buffs, you got enemy debuffs, and on top of that you have that good survivability, right? Everything rolled in to one package. It just feels really good. So it just takes a break from what you're used to, Now, what mission types you're going to be wanting to take this? I prefer using it on mission types with a lot more enemies. So, I try to keep this particular build away from capture or spy missions or exterminate, stuff like that. Things that you're going to run and gun, run right through it. Only because it's a team build, right? So if my enemies or my teammates are parkouring around so fast that I can't click on them, right, to buff them, it's a bit annoying, right? I mean, you can catch them, it's got a good range, even if they're farther down, like that voltage over there. I still caught them with the buff, right? So it's not too bad. I just prefer it with maps that have a lot more enemies to spread spores onto as well, right? So if you have a limited amount of guys, you don't see the nice spread of spores everywhere. And that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, I think we covered all the bases and showing you how this works. You can see all the viral procs going everywhere. All the enemies is melting. Doesn't matter what level they are. Ooh, good. They're level 36. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. What's really good, I just totally killed myself. The funny thing is you don't think that concealed explosives has a long range, and it's actually really long. I can show you right now. I'll put a little marker over here on the box. So it's 11 meters. It's ridiculous. So if you look at my damage, I'm gonna step into it. I just hurt myself. You see that? Yeah, I'll do it over here. I think an enemy actually hit me as well. Alright, 12 meters, no damage, no damage, no damage. Now I'm taking damage. But 10 meters. At 10 meters it hurts me, so I gotta be very careful. But it's great for spores though, man, because the range that it has is gonna be able to pop all your spores. It just feels really good. I mean, the other weapons are viable too. This is just my preferred weapon. Alright, yeah, so that pretty much concludes the build, guys. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, please leave them down in the notes below. We have a lot more guides available for you in a written form over at tennoarmy.com. Please take a moment to go over there and check that out. We love the support you guys all give us. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time. And have fun.